Hello there, my dudes. Welcome back to Modded Minecraft, all the mods 10 Minecolonies, the Shire. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. Now, last episode we kind of mentioned the Shire is coming to an end. Oh no, it's terrible news. It means we're almost done. We almost have all the buildings we're going to need on the Shire. Those buildings are the archery range, the combat academy, the sifter, and the flower shop. Now, the archery range is going to live over here by the barracks because we're training up hobbit archers, so it seems like that makes perfect sense. And also the flower shop is going to go over here at the back of the Shire. And of course the combat academy is going to live in the dwarven area because yeah, we're training up dwarven soldiers. Well, we know what we're going to do, so let's jump in. Now also there was some bad news. Just as I logged in, the nether miner, your mum, discovered the floor was lava. And she is dead. That's right, your mum has died. Sad times, but it's okay. We can move on. We'll make her a grave and it'll be fine. So yeah, let's get going and let's find a place for these buildings. We're also going to have to tidy things up over at the barracks because yeah, we left things a bit kind of not very neat. It doesn't look like it fits in with the landscape very much. So where are we going to put these buildings? Well, let's remember that this kind of, wagon here is not a Shire building. This was just here when we arrived and it can go. We can get rid of this thing and honestly, let's get some of this hay bale because hay bales are quite useful. Oh, there's a golden chest. Did not realize that. Let's take a look. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, let's see if we can find a place for the archery range. And let's take a look at what it looks like. So here we go, the Shire archery range. Now, as always, it looks like a giant pile of mud. Who knew? It's like a common theme with the Shire buildings. They look like big piles of dirt, but that's okay because that's what hobbits do. They do dirt. They do it pretty well though, let's be honest. So yeah, oh my god, it looks pretty cool. Level 1. And at level 5, take a look-see at this. Oh yeah, very impressive. It's got a sea lantern there. And I think that's obsidian, but honestly, not too tricky to achieve. Oh, and some nether fences there. Nether brick fences, that's fine. And you know what, actually, this is nice and small. This is gonna fit pretty well over in the corner. So let's go and find a place for this to live. Now, we haven't got too much room over here in the corner of the Shire, but we also do actually have more room than I first realized. So we'll get this building moved over here, lower it down a bit. And I think, yeah, this can be on a bit of a hill near to, oh no, that's like a bit of a hard line there. So we'll rotate this like that. And I think we'll kind of nest this against the hill. Yeah, this will look pretty good. Yeah, this feels to me like a pretty good location. It looks really messy now because you have to get rid of those trees, but that can be done. Put this in position and press the tick. And there we go, there is the hut block. Pretty easy to get to. Next up, we're going to be doing the flower shop. And again, I'm curious to see what this looks like. So this is a much bigger building than I was expecting, but this is going to live quite nicely, I feel like, very close to that archery range. In fact, if we put it up there, we can modify the dirt, add some dirt around here, bring the levels up, and I think this will look quite good. It's not too close to the mountain, is it? It kind of digs into the mountain a bit, so we'll bring it forwards and back. Yeah, that's pretty good. So with these two buildings in position, we'll press tick, and let's go and find these blocks. Now, we're going to help out clearing out this land because, oh my god, all of this grass can go the journey. That's right, get out of here, scum. And also these trees are in the way too. But honestly, I don't think the builders are going to have too much trouble with this. The land is pretty clear for the most part. Yeah, just get rid of these final trees and the grass. So yeah, let's do it. The archery range is important because it means the hobbits over here at this barracks can come over here, sharpen their skills, and we'll make sure every single hobbit in these guard towers is actually an archer. And over here, the flower shop, which is where a guy grows flowers. Not super useful for buildings, but there's a lot of flowers needed for some of the cures for diseases that colonists can get. So a flower shop is a very important one to have. Anyway, these two buildings are ready to go. Let's get them built. So here we go, a couple of relatively simple builds, not too much to clear out. There was a bit of digging required by both of our builders, but nothing too crazy. Lyra is working on the flower shop on the right, and then Leanne is working on the archery range on the left. Now, in terms of what these buildings do, it's pretty simple. The archery range is kind of like a library, kind of like a school. You can put colonists that don't have jobs here to learn how to be good archers. It means they're not unemployed, so it's really good, but also while they're here, they improve their stats. Then, at your guard towers and your barracks, there's a setting that lets you make sure the game recruits archers from the Archer Academy first, and that way you can be sure that when an archer is hired, they have the skills for the job and they can defend the colony. And the flower shop is a bit of a misleading term. It's not really a shop. There's no buying and selling that goes on here. All that really happens is a botanist or a florist grows flowers and provides them to the warehouse. It's really useful because flowers are often needed for things like cures, for diseases. Flowers also come in really handy for dyes, and also some buildings do require flowers to get built, so it can fill in those gaps as well. But there we go, these two buildings are complete. Now let's go in and do a bit of decoration. So there we go, a pretty simple build, the flower shop on the right and the archery range on the left. But like I said, yeah, this area is really kind of, well, not very neat. So I've got a few stacks of dirt, I've got some orchard saplings, some bone meal. I reckon we're ready to go around. Oh, I've also got a shovel as well. So we're going to go around, add some dirt here and there, and decorate this area, bring it up to standard. So with some saplings, some bone meal, some dirt, and a shovel, it was pretty easy to get this area looking pretty nice. Plus we also had the builders come around and upgrade these buildings to level 3, so everything's pretty much good to go. Oh man, yeah, this area looks really cool now. So let's go in the buildings one by one. Oh, we missed some stairs here. We can come back and fix that later. But yeah, we're gonna be, oh, why is the builder in the court? Are you having a bath, Lyra? I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, that's a good point. The houses that we have don't actually have showers. But this is the flower shop and it's looking really nice. I'm digging this level 3 building. Let's recruit ourselves a florist. So what are we looking for from a florist? Let's take a look. All right, yeah, so we have a wealth of students to pick from, and I reckon Draconis the Laggy has the best stats. So we'll get him over here. And what does the florist look like? Oh yeah, very hobbity. I don't know why his hat is a bit triangular, but you know what? That's a pretty good looking florist. Now, the way the flower shop works is you tell the flower shop what you want it to plant, and at the moment, we're just saying yes to all of the vanilla flowers. These kind of all come in useful. None of them are really more useful than any others, apart from maybe dandelions and poppies, which are used for medicine. But that's basically all there is to the flower shop. Now, the flower shop guy, the florist, does actually need compost to grow the flowers, but because we have a composter hut, that should make its way over here. And that's basically all there is to the flower shop. It's very fire and forget, very powerful, very cool. Wait, hang on a sec. Why does the florist have a red cogwheel? What do you want, Draconis? Aha, yeah, compost. So compost is required to plant flowers. It doesn't just speed up flower growth, it is required for him to start crafting flowers. So the archery range, and this is the really cool, really big one. And honestly, this is a really cool looking building. I love those targets over there, the fact that you can come over here with a bow, take your shot at the targets. It's a pretty cool looking building. It's at level 3, and if we come down here, you'll see there are 3 beds. So basically, the archery range works like a library, except instead of teaching students how to be more intelligent, we're teaching them how to shoot a bow. Pretty simple, but very effective. And when you come over here to manage workers, it's usually a pretty good idea to set this to automatic hiring. And what we can do is we can get a guy, we'll probably get a student over here. I reckon Daldo Shiggins. We'll get Daldo over here. There we go. Daldo has become an archer squire, so we can recall him over here. Oh my god, yeah, look at that mustache. This man was born to shoot a bow. But if we give this guy a bow, he will sharpen his skills on these targets and become a better archer. Then what we can do is we'll go over here to one of these barracks guard towers to show you how it works. So we decided all of the hobbits were going to be archers, so we'll come over here to the barracks tower, number 3, manage workers, and we're going to go knight, manual, druid, manual, archer, automatic. We're going to fire Knight Lantix and Knight Roland, and instead hire them as archers. But that's kind of basic. The big one is what you want to do is you want to come over here to settings, go down to hire trainee, and make sure hire trainee is on. And what this will do is when we need a new archer, it will by default pick from the people studying to be archers from the archery range first. If there's none of these, it will hire somebody that's unemployed, so don't worry about that. But it's a really good way to make sure the best archers get hired in your guard towers. Okay, pretty simple. So that's 2 buildings under wraps, the flower shop and the archery range. There are a couple more buildings that we want to take care of. Number 1, there is the sifter. Number 2, there is the combat academy. And there is one more I forgot as well, the dyer's hut. Now I think we haven't done the research for dyer's hut, but I don't know. Now I'm not sure if the dyer's hut is something that we should put outside, but what we'll do is we'll take a look at the Shire style combat academy and the Shire style sifter before we put them underground as dwarven buildings. So here we go, number 1, the Shire style sifter's hut. This looks pretty basic, obviously, just a mound of dirt. Lots of water for this one though, so this might be a good one to be Shire style. It depends on what it looks like at level 5. Oh man, you know what? This looks like a really nice little building. I'm thinking actually this would be a really good Shire building. I don't want to squeeze too many things in the dwarven area. So, okay, that is the sifter's hut. Let's take a look now at the combat academy. And okay, yeah, now this is a pretty big building. We'd be hard pressed to fit this outside because you haven't got much room left. But what does it look like at level 5? Okay, yeah, pretty basic, pretty simple, not much going on here, so I don't feel guilty at all making this a dwarven building. Let's find a place for this to live underground in the dwarven district, and we'll also find a place for the sifter out near our other buildings. We've got loads of room out there in the corner. So, ooh, a new child, Benny Fox. So the Knights Academy, I reckon this is probably going to work best. Where are we going to put this actually? I think underneath the barracks over here is going to be the perfect spot. There's loads of room against this wall, so let's make use of it. We'll come over here with the build tool and get this in position. Oh my god, whoa, so this building is actually pretty huge. I'm not quite sure why some of these buildings are actually really massive, but what I want to do is make sure that it's not interrupting the building above it, and we can always modify this area so it fits in nice and neat, so I reckon here will be okay. So yeah, do you know what my dudes, there's actually loads of room over here next to the flower shop, between the flower shop and the walls next to Bag End, behind the mystical site. Yeah, this little spot's going to be pretty nice. There's some trees over here that we might have to trim, but I reckon, yeah, we can fit this quite nicely here. I'll get this in position and then we can watch the time lapse of this going up. And let's get these buildings built. So the sifter's hut. Now this is actually a fairly simple building. It was very down the line. I wasn't sure if we were going to make this a dwarven building or a Shire building, but if we're ever in doubt, I always feel like we should dip into Shire because that's the main theme of the colony and I want to see what most of these Shire buildings look like. Now the sifter's hut is a pretty basic hut as far as buildings go. It takes things like sand and gravel, I believe, and sifts through them to find valuable gems and minerals. There's all kinds of wacky materials that can be found at a sifter's hut, but once the building is done, we'll go through what those are. Now it's looking pretty good, and getting this to level 1 wasn't really that tricky. After that though, I did want to bring this building up to level 3, as you can see, and decorate the area all around the outside, because we're really trying to polish off the area now and get the Shire closer to being finished. But I'm happy with how this looks. Let's jump in game and take a look at how the sifter works. Oh yeah, my dude, so check it out. Now the water feature that comes with the sifter's hut, I tried to make into like a bit of like a natural river pond thing over here. It doesn't look super amazing, but I'm kind of happy with how this looks like for now. Anyway, let's get inside here and buy ourselves a sifter. Which one of our students is going to become a sift lord? And it looks like stats-wise, I think Cappy Redbeard is probably the best dude for the job. Low focus, but high strength. That'll do. Now it's pretty important to get good stats with the sifter's hut because this affects the chance to obtain items. So even though Cappy isn't amazing on stats, his high intelligence is going to mean he's going to level up pretty quickly. So we'll get him on over here, boom. Now there's custom recipes here. You got flint, string meshes, and I believe there's some other meshes as well. We might have to do some research to unlock the higher level meshes. But there's all kinds of things this dude can find. He can find saplings from dirt, pretty cool. Soul sand and netherwort can be found by sifting soul sand. Sifting sand gets you cactus and sugarcane. There's iron, coal from gravel. Honestly, there's all kinds of amazing things you can find with a sifter's hut. But not only that, like if we go over here and type in sifter, and we can see what it's used for. You can see, oh yeah, there's actually pretty crazy recipes once you get to diamond meshes. You can find things like glowstone, blaze powder. Even sifting gravel gets you a chance at getting diamonds, emeralds, gold ingots, and iron. And this is kind of the superior option to the mine, because the mine has to physically dig tunnels and things. It's dangerous, the miner gets killed, and it's a bit of an ordeal. Also, the miner needs loads of materials to build their mines. But the sifter, all they need is the base gravel, some diamond meshes. They'll go through the gravel and find loads of valuables. Anyway, that is the sifter's hut and the other buildings over at the back of the Shire kind of taken care of. Now I want to jump into the dwarven section and get that area complete. Now I've remembered as well that we're missing a stone smeltery, so the two buildings I want to add to the dwarven area are going to be the stone smelter and, most importantly, the combat academy. So let's get Brother Falvian what he needs and get these buildings built. Alrighty, now there's a lot of decoration to happen down here in the Dwarven District. We've kind of been a bit lazy with this. It still looks like a big old cobblestone hole, but that's okay. Decoration can come after we've got these buildings. So the first building is the Combat Academy. Now this thing is actually pretty huge. It's another one of these 4x4 buildings that needs a lot of space to go in. But it does still manage to fit quite snugly over here at the side of this area. And of course, yeah, the building I almost forgot to do is the stone smelter. This is very important because this is basically how you get renewable charcoal from all of your wood, and that charcoal can keep your entire colony fueled with all the fuel you need for things like smelting, glass blowing, anything that uses a furnace, they can use charcoal, and that's why the stone smelter is essential. Over here at the back, it kind of sits just below where the floor is, but that's okay because again, we can modify the room here and make it look all nice and tidy. But there we go, as the stone smeltery is finished alongside the Combat Academy, let's take a swoop through and see how this area has changed after we've done a bit of decoration. And there's a lot going on here. We've added loads of fences, added some pathing using gravel and deep slate bricks that make the area look a bit more neat, give the floor a bit more texture. We've also added roof shingles to almost all of the buildings, and that really does help these buildings pop out of the walls and bring them to life. Not only that, we've got some Mr. Crayfish furniture mod, acacia, oak, and spruce crates, combined with some Minecolonies barrels, really do add to the idea that this is the dwarven area, and there's a lot of industry going on over here, a lot of goods being stored around these buildings. And you know what? I'm very happy with how this looks. Let's get in game and get some dudes hired over at these new buildings. Oh yeah, so check it out. Oh man, I really am really pleased with how this looks. As you come in, just seeing all the barrels, all of the roof shingles, it's amazing how with just a few little bits of decoration here and there, you can massively bring an area to life. And all we really use is fences, iron bars, some of these barrels and things, and roof shingles, and that's all we needed to make this area pop. So let's get in and get these things configured. Now the Combat Academy works exactly the same way that the archery range does. You come over here, and where is it? There should be a block over here. You can find a worker that you want to be a knight. They'll come over here, train as a trainee knight, then when a knight dies, they will get hired from here first, and that's why you get the best knights for the job. Now, Cryptic Wiccan has really good intelligence. He's got okay stats, but I reckon if we hire him as a squire, it will be. There we go. Cryptic Wiccan, our resident dwarf over here, Dwarf Supreme, will learn how to be a knight and yeah, sharpen those skills. Now the other big job we're looking for is, of course, the stone smelter. Now we've got one dude left, which kind of means we've got limited options in terms of hiring, but Benny Fox has pretty good athletics, that's okay. Working speed and smelting speed, it's not super essential, but it is helpful. So we'll get him over here. Now usually, honestly, like a stone smelter is one of these buildings I've often built more than one of, because yeah, they can make a lot of really cool stuff. The most important thing, being able to smelt oak logs, here we go, into charcoal. This is an absolute huge one. This means fuel will be sorted for the colony for good. It's super essential. Now, why is Benny Fox in a bad mood? What is that red cogwheel about Benny?
Great to see you.
Oh, he lives a long way from home. Okay, so we probably do need some more housing in here. Now we've got so many of these buildings and only one house over there. But oh my god, my dudes, I feel like the Dwarven section is almost complete. Aw man, that's a lot done this episode. So my dudes, a massive thank you for watching and for keeping up with our Shire series. Now if you are thinking about donating to become a hobbit, I would say hold fire because we're getting to the very end of the colony now, and it's unlikely that your names will become hobbits. Because yeah, there's just not many more hobbits to hire, not many more buildings to do. Next episode, we're going to see if we can focus on getting almost all of the buildings up to level 4 and 5 and kind of bringing an end to this series. It's going to be a sad, sad day because honestly, yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy journey over here at the Shire. And I'm not sure entirely where our journey is going to take us next, but I am excited to find out. I'm honestly kind of thinking about a mini break from Minecraft, so if you've got any ideas about what you want to see me play, any series we could start, or any Minecraft mods you want to see me check out, do let me know in the comment section. But a massive thank you for watching, my dudes. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and until next episode, take care.